So the commissioning process begins with the client sending me photos of places, events, family members that they want to celebrate. I had two sisters contact me and they wanted to remember the farmhouse they grew up in. So they went off and took pictures, different sides of this old house. It's got a porch on each side of the house. And of course, I asked them to go back and get it in sunlight because that'll give me the form a little bit stronger. And they told me what they did on all these porches. They brought a lot of memories back to them. For example, this one sister slept up in that bedroom right up there. And so we chose this photo then to kind of work from. This is what they thought really captured kind of what they wanted to say. And with the sunlight on it, it brought it back because obviously the trims were overgrown now, and there was new people living there with their own things in the yard that weren't there for them. It was kind of a sad moment for them because they hadn't been there in 50 years. So the next thing I do is I draw up a little sketch of what I'm seeing. And they told me about the geese in the front yard here that go up and poop on the porch, and that made their mother unhappy. And here's the two sisters. They're wandering around outside taking pictures of this building. And here are the kids. This is a tree they had a swing on and they played on. So that's kind of how we get started, and we start talking about that she slept up in this bedroom and, kind of got the feel for what they wanted to remember. So after they've kind of okayed my sketch that I sent to them, and these are like just small little sketches, once that's okayed and I see if we're on kind of on the same page, I can start to sketch it out on the watercolor paper, start kind of painting and giving them a little idea of what it's going to look like. And this is like, what I send them is like 16 by 20. It's not a big, because we're going to go on and make a very large painting. But this way, it really helps them to see what I'm doing. And so here I am, I'm putting in the shadows on this building. I put the sky in first, just very loosely. Look at that wonderful little tree shape happening here. And this is starting to dry, so pretty soon I'll start to put in the trees themselves. And this porch then would also be a shadow, because my light's coming from over here, and there'd probably be a shadow coming off of this little area there, and maybe a little shadow there. And then while I've got this color going, I try to put it down here too. So I'm echoing the blues kind of. And probably a whole bunch here. Yeah. I'm working with this new brush I've got, which I just love. And I put some, do you see this orangey kind of stuff? This is mascot, because then, remember I told you about the geese? Well, they're white, and so then I can be very free on the side here. This would be, this side of the house right here would be a little bit bluer too. And maybe just a few, I might put some shadows in where the tree, these are shadows from the tree that's going to happen here pretty soon. You sort of go into this scene and you start kind of planning, that you're there and what to do next and what's important. You notice I left a lot out because that was a very busy photograph. So this is the sunny side of the house, and see how that gives it kind of a lot more perspective going back through there. And then I'll probably put some more of that in some of these windows up here, add some of that down here. And so now I'm ready. I think I'm going to start working on the trees. So I'm using two different sap greens and blues, and I'm going to be real free here because I want to cover up quite a bit of this house, because it is overloaded. more or less. And so I'll put some of this in here, and you put a little golden in there. Maybe a little bit of that green across the bottom here. These are those bushes that were in front of the house. I'll bring them, and then I'll come over here and do the same. I have to go quite a bit darker because these trees are really hanging over. So I'm kind of starting out that way. And I'd probably have a lot more of the golden kind of on this side because the sunlight's hitting those trees. Yeah. I let that first layer dry. Remember, I put in the big shapes first, like this area and here, a house here in the golden. Then I took a smaller brush and I started doing more detail work. And I started remember that window up here was real important because this is where she slept. And I started putting in some more of the things on the porch and over here. And I just started tightening it up just a little bit. And then you need to stop and kind of see what you're doing. Because this is a time when you can go too far. And so I'm just going to kind of think about that front porch just a little bit here. This might be a screen right here. So I'll kind of dry brush across there. It's not real important. Anyway, I can keep tightening and putting more detail in, but I think I'll start with the trees now and see if I can kind of get them going back in here. So now this is dry, so look what's happening. See, it's staying, when I put it down, it's staying put. And so this would be some of the trees. Maybe I'd see a trunk coming up through here. Here's one of the trees. I'll make it, see the sun's hitting this, so I gotta kind of make it a little warmer. Maybe that could be a little warmer too. I can lift a little off of there, get the sunlight to just glisten a little bit on that. I really like this magenta. I think that's just really beautiful in there. And I know it has nothing to do with maybe the tree, but it just needs to have that kind of color in there. And then this would be the droopy things you could see below here. And I'll come across, right across here. And I can kind of dry brush it. Ochre in there. Oh, I like that. Yeah. I'm not too crazy about covering up my window. So one thing nice about watercolor is you can lift. So when this is dry, I can still lift off things. Okay, let's get into some of those droopy trees. You know, just kind of, it's kind of fun to make them kind of come down across here and pick up some of that color over here. Yeah, so I just kind of keep trying to kind of finish this up, or, you know, give them at least a taste of what this could look like. Come across that rough. I'm still working pretty loose, but I'm trying to kind of cover it slowly because then I can always take it away. You know, if I'm loosely doing this and I don't want to get too much busyness in, because what's important is that up here and that porch and these geese. So I keep working, and then I'll send them this photo, and this was the final that I painted after I gave them a color sketch. We kind of decided what we liked, and this is 22 by 30 size. So now you can see my process, and you send me photos, we talk it over, we try to find the storyline of what has meaning to you, and then I do a little black and white sketch, and then I also send that to you. We talk it over, and then I do a color study just so you can see what the colors might be. If you'd like a commission, please contact me at my website, theleftbankstudio.com.